Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, what's happening, everybody? It's your boy Leo Bridgewater. Welcome to the Burr section. Today is the day after the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Okay? It's been interesting listening to the pundits, all across the country try to reconcile exactly what happened on Sunday. I honestly thought from listening to what some people were saying yesterday and trying to analyze the game and talk about it. And I remember saying to some people a while back that, like what's going to have to happen is this is going to have to be, if we're going to win, in order for Jalen to get the respect that he should have already had, he's going to have to, the Eagles are going to have to win in a convincing fashion. And I kept looking at the Kansas City Chiefs and in comparison to the Philadelphia Eagles, and I had came to the conclusion early on that you know the Eagles want to blow these dudes out. I wouldn't have been. I told some people I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if they blow them out. I don't think these cats seen some goons like this, and that's what that was. That was a goon squad. I've watched all the pundits. I watched the different shows and everything like that, people going over the tape, going over the film. I honestly believe that folks really don't believe that they saw what they saw. Yes, Patrick Mahomes got his ass kicked. Bad. You did see that. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a joke or anything of that nature. You really did see Patrick Mahomes get his ass whooped. And there was absolutely nothing his binky could do about it. Travis Kelce. Nothing. Okay. The defense couldn't do anything. The only thing the Kansas City Chiefs defense could do is hold Saquon Barkley to 56 yards. That's all they did. I think their only game plan was to stop Saquon. And I heard people say, you know, the way to beat the Eagles is you got to make Jalen Hurts throw it. He threw 25 times and connected on 20 of them for 246 yards and two TDs, two passing TDs. Huh? You forget? Did you forget that A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith were on that team? Did you forget that Dallas Goedert was our tight end? Did you forget that Jahan Dotson was our third wide receiver? And your plan was to just stop Saquon. That's it. At some point, y'all gonna put some respect on his names. And what's interesting is when I look at these people like Chase Daniels and Nick Wright, and all these people who just refuse to put him in that upper echelon of quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? They just won't do it. You know what I'm saying? They think, oh no, if it wasn't for the defense. I heard some people say that Josh Sweat should have gotten the MVP. Now, matter of fact, I heard some people say the whole defense should have got the Super Bowl MVP. Also, so because it's Jalen Hurts' turn, you know what I'm saying? Now the Super Bowl MVP should be a team award. Stop. Come on, stop. Just stop. This is where this is what I mean when I say this is the textbook example of when I say this is the worst game of hide and seek ever. Because all us Eagle fans are standing there, we're looking at y'all saying, we see you, right? We see you. We you're right there. You're standing right behind the tree. We see you. You're right there. Come on, y'all. Come on. For all and again, you Bamander fans. You Washington Bamander fans. You know what I'm saying? What? We did y'all worse than we did them. Both of y'all only scored 22 points. A big majority of your points that you scored on us in these last two games came during garbage time. Did you know Patrick Mahomes threw a bomb to Xavier Worthy against our backups? Against our backups. Okay? And we hung 40 on them. Our backups was in the game. Okay? Our backups were closed out the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes and his binky. That's what y'all had to deal with. So I'm sort of kind of confused with where y'all getting y'all, like, what are y'all looking at? I know what I was looking at, and I watched Jalen Hurts throw that ball all over the damn place. Okay, I saw him running around too. I saw and he's not deserved. See, did you know that Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott and Joe Burrow, I believe, were all drafted in the same draft? No, I'm sorry. Dak Prescott was drafted in the same draft as Carson Wentz. Let's talk about that for a second, okay? Let's look at this. And this is for you Cowboy fans, right? So, in the time that Dak Prescott was drafted, okay, for you Cowboy fans, and the same amount of time that Dak Prescott was drafted, in the same draft, the Philadelphia Eagles drafted Carson Wentz, number 1. That was our number 1 pick. He was actually picked number 2 behind Jared Goff. You know what I'm saying? Or no, he was picked number 1 and then Jared Goff got number 2. Whatever way. Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, and Carson Wentz were all drafted in the same draft. Carson Wentz had an MVP caliber type of year before he got his knee messed up. And then Nick Foles took us the rest of the way through the playoffs, and we won the Super Bowl. Okay? So Carson Wentz got his first Super Bowl ring with the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles. Okay? Then Carson Wentz showed bitch assness, right? And we got rid of him. And where did he go? He went to the Bommanders, where we beat the shit out of him. I think we smacked him up like 9 times in one game, playing for the Bommanders. Okay. Then we reconstructed the team, drafted Jalen Hurts. Okay. And then we even had a 4-12 season. We had a 4-game season. Okay. But then we ended up going to the playoffs. Then we went to the Super Bowl under Jalen Hurts after we drafted him. Then we lost that Super Bowl. We went back to the playoffs the following year, lost in the first round. Then came back the following year and went to the Super Bowl and won. All before Dak Prescott could get his first ring or any ring. That's what happened in the time that the Cowboys had Dak Prescott at the helm. And the Bommanders and the Giants, and I'm not even mad, because you want to know something interesting? Did you all know that the Bommanders and the Giants and the Cowboys are directly related, or have a hand in this team being what it is? See, if the Cowboys had never did the trade with us, we wouldn't have been able to get Devontae Smith. If the Bommanders had never did their trade with us, we wouldn't have gotten Jalen Carter. In order to beat the Los Angeles Rams and the Washington Bommanders, Did you know that we had to beat our old off defensive coordinator from last year with the LA Rams, Sean Desai? And did you know that we had to beat our old offensive coordinator, who is now the Washington Commanders passing game coordinator? You know what I'm saying? Like Brian Johnson. Like there's a reason why Jaden Daniels looks the way that he does. The guy who was Jalen Hurts' quarterbacks coach for a few years is training Jaden Daniels. So if you see any kind of similarities and everything like that, that's the reason why. But see, Commander fans won't even tell you. They won't tell you that part. You know what Commander fans do? They go back and look at our second game, okay, where they won 36-33, and they tell you they whooped our asses. They don't tell you that that's the game that we was killing them for 3 quarters until and then we was killing them until Jalen went down with a concussion. Okay. He went down early in the game too, and we was still blowing y'all out. You know what I'm saying? But we don't say nothing. We don't talk about how we whooped y'all asses the first game of the year. See, we played y'all 3 times. We played Commander 3 times this year, and we won 2 out of the 3. Blew you out. And then we turn around, and in the NFC Championship game, we hung 55 on you. 5-5. You know how you Commander fans have been saying, I got 5 on it, left hand up? Yeah. We put 55 on you. Okay? And then you turn around and you look everybody in the face and you teach people how to disrespect my quarterback. You better put some respect on his name. For real. You better put some respect on his name. And this revisionist history that y'all have going on or whatever, stop. Come on, stop. Stop. So go ahead, buy you a team next year. And when you finish spending all that money, watch how we whoop y'all asses again and win another Super Bowl. What will the excuse be then? Huh? When we win another Super Bowl, what are you going to say then? You could not do to Patty what we did to Patty. You couldn't do it. Y'all not built like that. You're not. I guarantee you this though, and everybody pay attention. But the entire NFC East, matter of fact, the league on its in of itself, everybody's going to build their teams to compete with the Philadelphia Eagles. Did you all know that we are now the youngest defense in the league? The core group of those guys that you saw on Sunday, you know you got to deal with them cats for the next 2 to 3 years. The only person on our offensive line that's on our offense that isn't sold up for the next 2 to 3 years is Mekhi Becton. That's it. The people on our defense, Zach Bond, who I believe will get re-signed, Milton Williams, and Josh Sweat. I don't think they're going to get re-signed. I think Milton Williams is going to do the same thing that Javon Hargrave did 2 years ago. I think the same thing with Josh Sweat. Here's what my prediction is, okay? I would not be surprised if Josh Sweat and or Milton Williams ended up on the Commanders or the Raiders. One of those 2 teams. But more likely the Commanders. Why? Because they got the money. It's just the way it is. I could see that happening. But you know what else I could see happening? I could see Ski Mask Howie figuring out some kind of way to manipulate the numbers, and we'll end up with Myles Garrett. I can definitely see that happening. Lord have mercy, we end up with Myles Garrett. What's typically in these types of situations, what typically happens is teams like built like the Eagles to win consistently. Teams like that, when you have free agent players who have made their money but now just want a ring, we become a destination place because they like our quarterback. They like our defense. They like the whole situation. You can make the same argument for the Commanders too, because people like Jaden Daniels. They like Dan Quinn. You know what I'm saying? It's just the rest of that staff got to get, you know what I'm saying, ironed out. Same thing with who knows what Pete Carroll telling them cats out there in Oakland. I mean Las Vegas. But I'm just saying that's the way the world works these days. So, again, y'all gonna have to deal with us for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Logan? You know what I'm saying? It's up here trying to teach these people, put some respect on our quarterback's name. Okay? That's all. Put some respect on our quarterback's name. And these pundits with all these, these crazy ass narratives. They just like, do you know how bad it is? It's so bad. They just don't want to say Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. Every time they say Jalen Hurts, you know what they do? They throw Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson in front of Jalen Hurts. They'll tell you all day, every day that Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow are better quarterbacks than Jalen Hurts. Yet none of them have won a Super Bowl, and only one of them have actually gone to the Super Bowl, or two of them. I don't know. Doesn't matter. They ain't got no Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Let the haters know. Leo, did you and I about Dak say about the Eagles? What did you hear? What about Dak say about? No, I didn't hear what Dak. Dak actually had something to say about the Eagles. Good or bad, Dak got bigger problems than to be worried about what the Eagles are doing. What did he say, Logan? Type that in for me. Tell me. I want to know. Dak said we comparing to the Eagles because Cowboys beat the. We're comparing to the Eagles because Cowboys beat the Eagles. Huh? What? You see what I'm saying? Like this is the Logan. Everybody, listen, y'all, listen. You see what they doing? You see how they doing it? And here's the interesting thing: the more and more they keep doing this type of stuff, these pundits, these talking heads, you know what I'm saying? The more and more they keep talking like this, guess what ends up happening? The general population starts leaning more towards the word of influencers, content creators, because it gets difficult sitting there listening to these people make up shit and just come up with all kinds of stuff to say, except for the truth, which is that man did that. There's a see, if you was to put those same numbers on any other, like on Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson in the Super Bowl, y'all would say that they are deserving of an MVP. But because it's Jalen Hurts, y'all don't like. You don't want to say that. You can't, because you've been trashing him all year. You trashed him all season. You said it wasn't him. It was Saquon. You only Saquon. Hey, Jalen Hurts ain't contribute nothing. He made zero contribution to us being where we are. Let them tell it. He made zero contribution in the Super Bowl. I even heard someone say that Josh Sweat should have been the Super Bowl MVP because he had the exact same numbers as Von Miller when they won the Super Bowl. And Von Miller won Super Bowl MVP when Denver won the Super Bowl. And guess who his quarterback was? Peyton Manning. Now, let's look at that for a second. Okay? The year that the Denver Broncos won the Super Bowl with Von Miller on the defense, which beat they killed it, and Peyton Manning as the quarterback. You know why Von Miller got the MVP instead of Peyton? Because Peyton Manning only had just over 100 yards passing for the whole game, and he threw 0 touchdowns. For the whole game, go take a look. He only had just over 100 yards. Only 100 and some yards for the whole game, for the Super Bowl. Peyton Manning, the sheriff, okay? And he didn't throw not one touchdown. Not one, okay? So when the quarterback is only just over 100 yards and 0 touchdowns, who else you gonna get at MVP to? Huh? Who else? Okay. My quarterback was 20 for 25 with 246 yards and 2 touchdowns. And tush pushed one in. So he accounted for 3 whole touchdowns. But you don't wanna see how y'all keep moving the goalposts and everything like that when we talk about excellence and everything like that? Michael Irvin and them, they like our running game is as prolific as other teams' passing games. That's what you know what I'm saying? We had a running back who is now the all-time leader in yards from scrimmage, both regular season and playoffs. Saquon Barkley. We have wide receiver 1A, AJ Brown, and 1B, Devontae Smith. And then Jahan Dotson is number 2. And Dallas Goedert is our tight end. Right. With an all-pro offensive line. Man, y'all, you know, you people, man, you folks, man, this is interesting. It's really interesting, but hey, you know, it is what it is. What can I say? I just wanted to, you know, like, I just wasn't prepared. That's why I named this the day after, because when I woke up today, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Nick Wright just couldn't get it right. You know what I'm saying? Chase Daniels is would rather choke on Crow than to give Jalen Hurts his props, his flowers. He don't want to do it. He's not elite. That's what he said. He said he's not elite. And he keeps moving the goalposts. You know what I'm saying? He just won't do it. He can't afford to. It'll make him look dumb. The only person I have really respect for now is Dan Orlovsky, because he got ahead of it and publicly apologized to Jalen Hurts. Told him he was wrong. Told him he was hurt. He was riding him the hardest the whole year. Said the worst things about him, and Jalen Hurts proved him wrong. And he said he accepted that. He takes full responsibility. A lot of you pundits could learn a lesson from that. But instead of just admitting to it, you dig the hole deeper. And that's why I said this is like the worst game of hide and seek ever. You know we see you. We see you. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? This doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. It hasn't. So somebody please explain it to me. Why? What is so hard about it? He did that. My quarterback did all of that. And you still won't do it. It's always some other caveat. You don't like the fact that Howie Roseman is probably a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame GM. Say what you want about him or what have you. You know, that man will do everything it takes to make the team better. You know what? I'll say this, because I said this to a bunch of Cowboy fans last year. When things worked out the way that they did, I said this. I said, remember when the season ended for us and it was not good? We lost 6 out of our last 7 games, got bounced out of the playoffs in the first round. Still went to the playoffs, but got bounced out of the first round. All hell was breaking loose, right? And word came down that Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, was going to come down out of his office and sit down with Howie Roseman Nick Sirianni, him and Ted Smolinski, the team president, right? They were going to come down and have a meeting with the coach and the GM. And the coach and the GM had to come up with some kind of a plan that would be satisfactory to the owner and the team president on how they were going to recover from this past season, because it was just that ugly. There was something going on in that locker room. Let me explain something to y'all. When you lose 6 out of your 7 games, when you lose 6 out of the 7 last games of the season, okay, and we was killing it. We were 10-1. Okay. When that happens, that means something catastrophic went down in that locker room. And I remember telling people, we're going to need a couple of years. We got to be a couple of years removed to find out exactly what happened. Like, what was it? But until then, I tried explaining to Cowboy fans, I understand you guys are a little bit numb when it comes to what Jerry Jones thinks and the things that Jerry Jones do, and he does all kinds of wild shit. Landing a helicopter in front of at the practice, and he's always on 105 to 3 the fan, and he's always saying he's talking about dicks and everything, right? And I tell people I get how Cowboy fans are numb to that. But understand something. In Philadelphia, when Jeffrey Lurie says he's coming out of his office and that the GM and the coach better have some answers because they need a plan, that's not good. That is not good. Okay? You never hear from Jeffrey Lurie. You hardly ever see him. Most people can't even tell you who the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles is. A lot of people from other fan bases can't even tell you what his name is. But everybody know who Jerry Jones is. Most people can't really tell you who the GM of the Philadelphia Eagles is. They just know he's the guy that's always stealing people. Most other fan bases can't give you those answers. And so I was trying to explain to people, especially particularly Cowboy fans, like, yo, you don't want to be talking to Jeffrey Lurie. Like, that's the one person you don't want coming out of his office so that you explain any damn thing. That dude does not fucking play. And you better have some answers. They better be good enough, or guess what? Bye. Ask Chip Kelly about that. Ask. Jeffrey will blow this whole thing up quick. Okay? And that's exactly what happened. So I just want y'all to know that even when it comes down to front office and ownership, you know what I'm saying? Again, class acts. Jeffrey Lurie does not meddle. You know what I'm saying? You don't see him into too many things. You don't hear about it. You know what I'm saying? You rarely see that guy. You know what I'm saying? The only time you really see him is that he's at the game and he's sitting there watching. But you don't see him talking. He don't get in front of them cameras. He don't get that damn microphone out my face. I ain't saying shit. Not to you. That's Jeffrey Lurie. You know what I'm saying? He don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so again, like, come on, y'all, stop with the circus thing. Stop with trying to make us out to be something that we not. Like, hey, listen, y'all wanted that Disney story. Y'all wanted the three-peat and all this other stuff and make it look good. No. If you have some sort of a feel-good story or some kind of Disney movie thing going on, like the 49ers did a couple of years ago with Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevance, taking us to the Super Bowl. Okay, if Patrick Mahomes and his binky, they're going for the three-peat. No one's ever done it before. Do not have that kind of story going on and then think you're going to get away with that shit playing with the Philadelphia Eagles. Are you out of your mind? Those are goons. That's a goon squad. They don't give a shit about none of that. And as you saw, they fucked Patrick Mahomes up. One last point before I get out of here. Okay. I just want y'all to put and this is just as a football fan, a fan of football overall. Okay, stop being so quick. Stop, calm the fuck down. Stop being so quick to try to crown somebody the GOAT. Put a little respect on TB12's name. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand his ass either. You know what I'm saying? He beat us in the Super Bowl too. All right. But come on, y'all. That man got 7 rings. 7. Patrick Mahomes ain't even halfway there. Okay? Come on. Put a little respect on that man's name. Patrick Mahomes, is he headed in that direction? Yeah, but I don't think he's going to make it. Not 7. I don't think so. Okay? And understand, I think, yeah, so Tom has 7 rings, but I think he went to the Super Bowl 10 times. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Like, let's just pump the brakes on that. All right. I know you young people, y'all really want to GOAT so bad. That's why you can't get past the argument between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Here's something for you to think about. LeBron James is respected throughout the world, throughout the country, throughout the league when it comes to basketball. LeBron James is respected. Michael Jordan was feared. When Michael Jordan was playing, he had no peer. He had no peer. There was never an argument. He had like no when we were saying Michael Jordan was the greatest, there was like Magic. Everybody you put in front of him, they said that he was the greatest. Magic, Larry, Doc. It was Mike. You know what I'm saying? Mike scared the shit out of people. Mike scared the shit out of tougher people than the ones that are in the league now. So let's just calm that down, all right? And with that, I just want to, say shout out to all my Eagles, fellow Eagle fans. The parade is on Friday. It's snowing right now, so you know what I'm saying? Guess who won't be out there in that cold ass weather? I'm just happy we won, so I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But hey, everybody, the parade is on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to congratulations to Kellen Moore. I don't think you should have went there, you know what I'm saying? Only because the New Orleans Saints is under some kind of a controversy right now. They dealing with some shit with the Catholic Church and raping little kids and stuff like that. And the New Orleans Saints is wrapped up in all that too. So you going to it ain't a good situation. It ain't a good look right now. But hey, I know you wanted to be a coordinator bad. Can't wait to see who our next offensive coordinator is. And whoever it is, you're inheriting a Ferrari, an already built Ferrari. Okay. So I'm looking for us to go to the Super Bowl again, repeat, and then threaten to three-peat. Okay. With that, I'll see y'all tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? 3 days after the day after. And then we'll see what happens. All right. Later, y'all. Peace.